All right, let's keep the focus on this powerful coastal storm taking shape. Scenes like this out of North Carolina just days ago. Last week it was 9 homes there in Buxton, North Carolina, that succumbed to the Atlantic, that erosion and what you're seeing there as a result. To break down more of what's ahead up and down the eastern seaboard, we're joined now by Dr. Ryan Truchelut. He's the president and the chief meteorologist at WeatherTiger. Ryan, great to have you back with us. Last time we talked, we were in that mid-season tropical lull, rifled off 4 hurricanes. None made landfall, thankfully. But we do want to talk about an article you published about the tropics. We'll do that in a moment. But first, I want to get your thoughts on this tropical storm. What are you expecting for the impacts up and down the coast?
Well, there's certainly going to be widespread impacts along the eastern seaboard, especially the parts of the East Coast close to the Atlantic Ocean. They're going to be seeing anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. We're going to be seeing those long-lasting onshore winds that are going to be driving coastal flooding, and storm surge of anywhere from 1 to 3, maybe even locally up to 4 feet. So this is certainly going to be an impact akin to a tropical storm. This will not be a tropical cyclone or hurricane, so it won't get a name, but it certainly will be very impactful for the eastern United States.
Yeah, and the duration is trouble too, and we're talking about all the way into early next week, dealing with impacts at least across the northeastern parts of the mid-Atlantic. I see behind you a front page of the Tallahassee Democrat. You recently published a piece in that same publication asking whether we'll see a swift and certain end to the hurricane season. We did see some loosely veiled T Swift references in that one too with the new album. But you were basically arguing that it's time to drop the curtain on the MDR season, right, and look toward the gyre. What are you thinking there as we move forward through the next 2-3 weeks? There were some inklings from the Climate Prediction Center and their global tropical hazards.
Yes, that's correct. So once we get to October 15th, we really don't historically see threats to the continental United States from tropical cyclones coming from the east any longer. You can still occasionally get something forming east of the Lesser Antilles, but it's almost certain to turn north and out to sea like we're seeing with Tropical Storm Jerry today. The place we want to look for threats late in the hurricane season, and we are late in the hurricane season. After October 15th, there's only about 10% of hurricane season left in terms of historical U.S. landfall activity. It's in the western Caribbean and the southern Gulf of Mexico. And one of those primary modes of tropical genesis, the way that storms form, is the Central American gyre, as you mentioned.
So if, Lord willing, we can sneak on through the next few weeks and have a quiet close to the hurricane season, how would you describe this season? What were your impressions? Because it honestly was a bit bizarre in terms of how things played out. We did have that little pocket north of the Leeward Islands that was like this breeding ground for extreme rapid intensification, but thankfully those storms were in a spot where they didn't bother land.
Well, we can't write the final page on hurricane season yet. Past October 15th, there are 6 major hurricanes that have made landfall in the continental United States since 1900. So we're not out of the woods yet. If you look at the historical trends, about a quarter of years past this point have a named storm make landfall in the continental United States. So, I don't want to close the book quite yet. Let's say that, God willing, and the creek don't rise, we get through the next 6 weeks without a landfall in the continental United States or without significant activity in the Caribbean or Gulf. This will be an extremely unusual hurricane season in terms of where storms developed and moved. If we truly don't see anything in the Gulf or Caribbean, this will be the first hurricane season since 1962 to have so little activity in those 2 locations. And like you mentioned, almost all the activity this year has happened in this box north of the Greater Antilles, near Bermuda, and east of the Bahamas. That's where you had Hurricane Erin track through, Humberto, Gabrielle. All those big storms have moved out that way and they've menaced Bermuda, but they haven't really been big threats to the continental United States. So that's quite strange. We just re-entered official La Nina conditions as of yesterday. And when you have a La Nina, you tend to have a season that has more activity in the Gulf and Caribbean, especially in that latter third of hurricane season. So a strange year, something that hurricane season forecasters such as myself will be thinking about it in the off season and looking to hone our predictive methodologies and maybe tweak them for the next upcoming hurricane season. Should continue to be as quiet.
Yeah, nobody is complaining at all. If that's it, it just is, or was hopefully a bit of a head scratcher of the season. Ryan, we don't have much time left, but I mentioned your article. Thumbs up, thumbs down on the new T Swift album.
About 9 hits out of 12, in my opinion. So it gets a thumbs up from me.
Okay, yeah, well, so it's a solid C, right? I suppose 9 out of 12.
I mean, 9 good tracks out of 12. So I would give it an 8.3 out of 10.
All right, a pretty reasonable number. For me, it was whatever album was over the pandemic, the kind of alt-rocky one. That was peak. Hey, always great to catch up with you. That's the president, the chief meteorologist at WeatherTiger, Dr. Ryan Truchelut. Great to have you back on Fox Weather. Thanks.
Thank you.